Hey folks, 19.4 million people live in New York State. So to learn that 8,000,004 voted, it's like 45% of the state voted. But when you stop and look at the numbers, I want to put something on screen. Here you go. Keep in mind, ready? Keep in mind that Trump lost by 1.9 million, they say. But imagine you're running a countrywide race where you need to pick up about, 10 million votes. And the polls are saying you need to be at a certain number in this state or that state. And then they go and steal 500,000 votes from 20 states to win, to try to hide the facts and take advantage with, undermining the confidence of the election integrity, and pretty much distraction, I would say, or whatever means necessary used to trick people into thinking the election was fair. Okay, so if everyone thinks the election is fair, then no one has a problem. But look at this data I'm about to show you from the New York hack, according to Mike Lindell. And it's alarming what they're saying. When you look at the counties of New York, you can look at the time of an alleged hack, the source, which is an IP address, where it comes from: Texas, Arizona, Florida, Colorado, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Quebec, Oregon, Massachusetts. Now keep in mind, this is not a swing state, so they expect it to lose anyway. So who would be the wiser finding out 500,000 votes were stolen? Well, if you can do that in many states like California, where they stole 700,000 votes, and here's New York stealing 500,000 votes, yes, Biden still won. It's not that big of a deal, you think, except that the swing states were hacked by mostly Chinese corporations because they were a target of a higher authority with an much more important standing. Let's say standing, because when you're the victim of a crime, you have to prove that you were harmed and that you were damaged. So, look down here. Washington County Board of Ed hacked by Singapore. Westchester County, where I was born, Japan hacked them. Malaysia, Yates County. So look at the suspects of a crime. It's not proven. Okay, I get you. It's not proven. But here's Japan, Germany, Canada, Japan again. Bronx County Board of Ed. Japan here hacked at a certain Board of Ed registrar of voter. Here we go. Bronx County, 35,592 hacked votes. Switched, in other words. B vote, T vote, B vote, the big lie. These are the falsified numbers. So 43,000 Trump votes turned into, 43,000, the big lie, 47,000. Biden votes. Oh, that's it. Biden votes, Trump votes. Biden votes, 43, turned into 47. And Trump votes, 47, turned into 43, stealing 7,000. That's Broome County, New York. But look at some of the bigger numbers. Let's just bring up the big numbers. Here we go. 35,000 votes stolen from Bronx County. That's a very low number of voters. So say 19 million voters, citizens in New York rather, 8 million votes. And on this computer I have other information. 8,000,004 people voted in the state. But look at the numbers here. 39,000, Erie County. This is the Biden vote. 247 raised to 267. So they gained 20,000 votes, and Trump lost 20,000 votes. That's a swing of 40,000. Now, if the vote came back to Trump from Biden, it would switch. It would make the tally that Trump gained 80,000 votes. In other words, if Trump's 40 lower and Biden's 40 higher, it's actually an 80,000 swing shift. The difference in loss of the tally from 247 to 267 is 20. So keep in mind, I'm trying to explain the difference between the actual voter, the Republican vote diminishing by 500,000, and the Democratic vote increasing by 500,000. And I want you to keep in mind this. If this is the first year that they're caught, it could have been going on since the 90s, okay? So this blue state may not be as blue as you think. And let's all look at the voter in particular. If this is a veteran who fought in a foreign war, is relying on certain spending or certain protections, and is conservative, well, he wouldn't want runaway spending. He would rather preserve Social Security, which is going to default. He'd rather preserve Medicare for all, which is going to default. Because after people pay into the system for 60 years, they want it to be there when they retire. But let's go look at other numbers. Montgomery County Board of Ed. That's fairly small. 1,700 votes shift. 7,000 to 7,900. But look at Nassau County Board of Ed. 60,800 votes. That's a large percentage of the population, folks. New York County Board of Ed, 57,894 votes switched. 57,000. Well, in of itself, it's one thing. But adding it to Nassau, Montgomery, adding it to Erie County, adding it to Bronx County, you're into the 130,000 vote number. Now, I'm from Pound Ridge, New York. It only has 3,500 households, but that's like switching every vote in my hometown 10 times. It's quite a bit of voter fraud. So get down here. Onondaga, 19,000 switched votes. Queens County, 65,758 votes. 65,000 votes. So, if a candidate lost who was running, let's say for treasurer, by 5,000 votes, or was losing by 5,000 votes, and then all these votes on a statewide election came in and made him win, he was not the winner, folks. So look down here. Rockland County. A lot of friends in Rockland County. 12,500. Richmond County. I know people in Richmond County. 18,000 votes stolen. Let's go down. Suffolk County, a large Long Island presence. 64,000 votes switched. Here we go. 348,000 Biden votes changed to 381. He gained 40,000 votes right there. And Trump lost 413 to 381. 13 plus 19 is 29. And that adds up to 64,000 swing votes. Swing votes, folks. Okay? Go down the list. Westchester County, my hometown, where I grew up. 293,000 Biden votes were changed to 313. Well, my town has only 3,500 families, so there's maybe 10,000 voters in Pound Ridge, New York. So 4 times the vote in Pound Ridge, New York, in Westchester County was switched. That's saying something. That's fraud. That's material. And adding this entire column up equals the total number of swing votes, which would be this is 350,000 from Trump. 3.6, 3.2, let's say 350,000. Does that make sense? 13, 47, 54, 59, 64, 69, 72, 82, 92, that's 102, 130, 160, that's 207, that's 300, that's 400. Yeah, the numbers make sense. But to allow people from Oregon to take your vote away when you're an American citizen, people from Virginia who hacked from this ID, this router, the targeted ISP. Here we go. So they know that the 208.90191 is the Livingston County Board of Ed router number. That when they use GPS to find the coordinates, this is the longitude. They know exactly, this is the latitude. They know exactly where the router was that was hacked by a Texas corporation or a Texas person, and they know his address. This is pretty damning information for the states to have to realize. I mean, Connecticut's one thing where our Attorney General is being accused of falsifying his own delegate signatures, and our Congressman Himes. But for my Congressman DeLauro to beat person running for Congress, Stryker, it looks like those numbers are material. So, what's the conclusion we can draw? Well, first of all, if you want to throw an election, you would need a coordinated effort by quite a few people to hack and keep the ballot information from being released. In other words, in certain states like Arizona, the governor, and Wisconsin, by the way, the governors of those states blocked the subpoenas of the state legislature to prevail. In Connecticut, the governor has taken over the state, removed all responsibility of the General Assembly, and taken their power away by executive order. So here we go. We have a lot of executive orders. Look at Cuomo. Executive orders. And he's in trouble. He's gone. And the fact remains, the people have a voice. The people gave the power to the federal government to govern. And the federal government has started to diminish the state's authority through H.R. 1. They want ballot harvesting with same-day registration, enabling fraud. They want no voter ID. They want to take the vote away from you. My 5 congressional candidates in my state who won through an illegal election, which has been proven by these documents in my state, they all co-sponsored H.R. 1. Like I said, ballot harvesting, same-day registration, no voter ID. Okay, no voter ID on top of hacking, which flipped the entire election in the first place. Okay, so what we're saying is ballot boxes stuffed with IDs brought to a motor vehicle department to get a picture, to get a form that can't be traced to a false address. And one person in Connecticut voted in 17 states, folks. One person in my state voted in your state. So you have to wonder how reckless our protections are. And then to turn around, like my state is the Constitution state, to treat your vote with total disrespect while you're the taxpayer and that thief in the night came and robbed you, took your civil right to vote away, took your civil right to vote away. So now what are we stuck with? Congressman DeLauro, when we should have a striker. I say to you, the legislation she's writing, in every sense, is bad for America. So when I say Connecticut owes most of these other states for all their trickery, now you say, look at New York. Connecticut follows New York. Connecticut follows California and New York on what they're doing. Many of these hacks for the swing states determined the election because it was so close. But was it close? It wasn't close at all. If New York stole 500,000, Connecticut stole 400,000, California stole 700,000, add up these blue states that robbed the red states of their vote, and we have a President Trump, folks. Now, look what the Biden administration's done in the last 100 days. Just the last 100 days. Reversed everything that agree or disagree with Trump's delivery method. But to put these people in power, we have an election coming up in 1 month. We don't have enough time to put protections in place to safeguard your vote. Safeguard your vote. Here we go. Dominion was purchased by UBS in Stamford, Connecticut for Chinese nationals. Those Chinese nationals from every city you can name in China hacked the swing states. Not these. These are different culprits. You can look at the list. The different culprits are right here. France. Nagano, Japan. Really? Do they have any business? Tokyo, Japan hacked Westchester County, my hometown. I'm from Westchester County originally. I've lived in Connecticut since 1998. But I was a registered conservative in Westchester County. My father was the chairman of the Conservative Party in Westchester County. And you know what? Under conservatives, they would never allow Republicans to steal Democratic votes, let alone a landslide of Democratic votes, taking away your inalienable rights to representation. And look at the extreme left, who I suspect is behind this entire scam. Why? Because they started to impeach a sitting president on day one. They took an oath in the Senate while taking bribes from Burisma and voted against this sitting president after falsifying FISA warrants and framing people. Framing General Flynn. I just met General Flynn last week. I just want to say to New York, I'm embarrassed that I'm from New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. And I'm telling you, you need to fix this right now. Because if half the people in office are there as a result of rigging a card game, dealing from the bottom of the deck, it's like a horse race where they agree which jockey's going to come in first, while they set the odds in their favor, and the long shot wins. It's totally unethical, and I can't stand for it. So here you go. I'm going to send this in as a preliminary discussion on New York. Getting back to, some of those numbers, which I have on my laptop. 60,000 Nassau County votes falsified, switched. 60. 76,000 Kings County votes switched. 240 votes for Trump. And 76,000 switched. That means they switched 30% of the vote in Kings County. That's egregious. It'd be one thing if they switched 1% and the outcome wasn't that gigantic. But in Kings County, it's like Maricopa County. Maricopa County had 171,000 votes switched. It's the only county that switched over 1,000 votes in the state of Arizona. I'm telling you right now, Kings County is the Maricopa County of New York. Look at Nassau County. 60,000 votes switched out of 366 Biden votes and 357 Trump votes, very close, within 10,000. Within 10,000 votes, Biden and Trump in Nassau County, they switched 60,000 votes, annihilating the true winner and promoting the brain dead who has destroyed America in 3 months. This is on you, Democrats. This is on you. I'm telling you right now, if you don't fix it, you're going to have a problem, because that riot in in Washington, D.C. on January 6th was patriots, and you threw them in jail for 10 months. There's going to be repercussions. People are not going to stand for this, and I'm not going to stand for this. It's shameful. Nice to meet you. Welcome, New York, to my world.